Well, in this video, something pretty new. Something pretty new for you guys that I think is worth the conversation with the 250th anniversary of America coming up here in a few short months. We are going to take some time between now and then to kind of get you guys on board with some of the latest and greatest news regarding some of the coins that we expect to see come out for 2026. It's going to be an unprecedented year for the hobby, for the US Mint, for collectors of all ages. And I expect to see some pretty wild stuff. We're already seeing little shades of things happening that, quite frankly, surprised the heck out of me coming into this year. There's a few I thoughts that, I thought this would happen, I thought that would happen. And it turns out that some of the opposite things kind of rang to be true that I didn't even think would happen. So we're on the US Mint website. See, they're already gearing up for it. America 250 countdown to America's 250th anniversary. So they're ready to go. I'm ready to go. And I hope you guys are ready to go as well. Quick little recap of the mintage figures thus far on circulating coinage. Lincoln cents very, very low. They have not produced anything new here in the last few months. So I would suspect, like they did last year, to kick in a little bit more production of both the Denver and Philadelphia minted coins. So we'll see how that goes. Rolls unbelievably, and I talked about these in the Pocket Change Market Report. Enjoying robust sales. Anything with 2025 dates on them for Lincoln cents, doing very well. I was at a show here in Northern California the last 3 days, and there were a few dealers that actually had brand new original bank wrap rolls of 2025 Lincoln cents, predominantly Denver's. Luckily, the Denver side here is a little bit lighter by a little bit, 10 million or so. They were selling the rolls for $7 a piece. Okay, at first glance, for something that is new as in this year, it seems a little outlandish. But when you do some deep diving, you look on the secondary market through eBay and all that, the prices are correct. They're probably more appropriately $8 to $12 per roll. And this is all due to the speculation that the Mint and the Fed Reserve is going to do away with the production of Lincoln cents because it's too expensive to produce. It's over 3 cents each to make more Lincoln cents. So they're going to kind of stop the bleeding there, stop producing it. The Mint had ordered its last final batch of zinc planchets from their contracted vendor. All right, this news was made about 6 months ago, so that component to it not at all new. After really low mintage figures of Jefferson Nichols, we're kind of like in more normalcy mode, but surprisingly, the Denver Mint has about 116 million less nickels produced at the Denver Mint than they did at the Philadelphia Mint, which is kind of strange. Usually that number is more even there. So last year we enjoyed some pretty rare numbers. Under 30 million, which is very low in the modern era of circulating coinage production. Roosevelt dimes are okay. Surprisingly, we're going to be using the word surprisingly quite a bit in this video. They produced more dimes this year than Jefferson Nichols. That's kind of crazy. As a matter of fact, the mintages are really close to Lincoln cents, which is, I just cannot believe that I'm reading those numbers correct. Quarter program, Denver not making nearly as many of the final year of the American Women's Series quarters. So I think there's a lot of people are ready to move on from this. There's a lot of fatigue regarding multi-year program releases. such as the Statehood Quarter Series, the America the Beautiful National Park Series, the American Women Series. A lot of people are looking for a static design. All right. I don't know if that's going to be a case after next year because the Mint is retooling and reconfiguring, redesigning pretty much all of the circulating coinage for the 250th anniversary of our country. So that's pretty significant. Candy half dollars, which is kind of like the main focal point for today's video. These numbers are higher than, what we've seen, about 5-6 years ago when they were theoretically not intended for circulation, which means that they were producing them at the time as collector pieces, and you could only order them through the US Mint website. Candy half dollars is kind of like entering a very interesting situation. This, as of right now, this year, 2025, is going to be the final year that we're going to see this design of candy half dollar. All right, because they're doing a complete redesign overhaul for 2026 for the big event. And then 2027, they're doing a full redesign. I think they're going to keep Kennedy, but it's not going to look anything like what we're seeing here. This is old school design right here with the earlier kind of, mid-century heraldic eagle kind of design as what we're seeing here by Frank Gasparo's, original love child, I suppose. The design has roots going all the way back after President Kennedy was assassinated, because the design team at the Mint, along with Jackie Kennedy as well, they all had a part in what this final design was going to look like. All right, so yeah, this is what we're used to seeing. Unfortunately, these coins don't really circulate all that well. We normally, and for a while, we've seen them travel through casinos. We've seen them occasionally in vending machines, at some point. I think in the 80s and 90s, there was more of that going on. But predominantly, these coins, after the millennial, after the year 2000, a lot of these were simply just juxtaposed position-wise to be to be kind of like traded amongst banks and all that stuff. Kind of like what $500 bills were in the 1980s. In the 1980s, you were still able to walk into the bank and ask for $500 bills at face value. Those particular notes, quite expensive in the collector world today. So a while ago, the Mint had offered for sale their normal scheduled candy half dollar programs, their releases. And they had these in P&D rolls. All right, so you could go on the Mint website. You could order one roll. I believe it's $25 face, if I'm not mistaken, for $36.25, and you add your pick of either the Philadelphia or Denver Mint. The household order limit or the product limit turns out was only 26,250. There was some question at the time when this was released if whether or not that was, a low number or if it's like suitable with the current, I guess, market and the desirability to own these pieces. What shocked a lot of the collecting community is that these things went unavailable really quickly. Unavailable, sold out. They're similar, comparable, not quite the same, but pretty much the writing's on the wall that these will not be made available unless there were some returns that came in or some I don't know, maybe some double charges or things like that, unauthorized charges. Then they'll withhold some of the product or put it back into stock. But we haven't seen that yet. And I think people are looking for this to being the absolute final year of this design, and it is. And it's created a little bit of fear of missing out, also known as FOMO in our hobby. And as a result, not only did it sell out, but this particular roll set, which is which is specific with the U.S. Mint graphics on it, whether it's the Philadelphia or Denver, are selling quite strongly on the secondary market. All right, and I was wrong. These are $10 face. So you were buying a 2-roll set here, P&D. So you had 20 coins of each mint right there. $20 face value for $36.25. That's not including shipping or anything like that. But yeah, this one right here, one of the first chips to fall, and it would set ablaze a whole bunch of other things as well. And in another video, we're going to talk about all of the product up to this point that had sold out for 2025. I think you guys will be surprisingly just blown away by what's sold out so far this year. Even blew me away too. And also the bags. They also did 200 coin bags, which is $100 face value of either Philadelphia or Denver. So you had your pick here on this one. And they came in a little canvas bag. This is nothing new, ladies and gentlemen. They had produced these for as long as I can remember. Probably the last 24, 25 years since these originally went into NIFC status, which is not intended for circulation. All right. That's when mintages, kind of crashed through the floor. They only made 2 million, 3 million of each design from 2002, I believe, all the way up to, 2018, 19, somewhere around there. But that notwithstanding, the product limit is 11,550. Again, the question is, was this too low of a number or is it just right? We're not going to dispute that if it's too much, because it simply is not. All right. And candy $half collectors are very passionate. There's actually a pretty good community of some of you out there that do candy $half. So if this is indeed the final year of this design before we transition over to the next two designs, the 250th anniversary, I'm thinking it's going to be the Statue of Liberty, Lady Liberty design for next year. And then in a whole new design that we don't know nothing about for 2027, this one's going to have some pretty good legs on the aftermarket if you needed to buy it, because they did sell out right away. $154.50, $54 above face value. Seems like a lot, but when you go to see how much these have sold for on places like eBay, you're going to be blown away, as is I. So first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look. This is for the candy $half bags. So it's 200 coins. I guess it's split up evenly, half and half. Someone had said that they actually put them in rolls and then put them in the bag, which is good. So they're going to be in rolls and then put into the bag, and you're going to get however much of each mint to kind of fulfill the order there. But check this out. Selling for pretty much 2x what the original issue price is of $154.99. $310. The last two recorded sales, one on the 27th and another one on the 26th. Here's another one right here. $100 face. This one on September 26th for $250. Here's a best offer accepted. Don't know what that is. And we're focusing on the mint bags, not loose coins like this. $299 right there. So that's a completely different seller as well. $299 here, different seller. $299 here. That's one of the first sellers we looked at. So, I mean, as you could tell, these things have shot up through the roof. And we were all sleeping on it. I know I was, but the people that bought them as a part of their regular collecting of candy $half, or there are a number of people, and a couple people have actually reached out to me that they are speccing on these, and they ended up, being the scant few that was able to buy into the bags and rolls. So those are the bags. Check out the rolls here. Again, these will surprise you as well. There are a fair amount of OBW, original bank wrapped rolls of these coins as well. And, you see that here and here. They're all selling at, about probably double face value, nothing too crazy. It's only when we get to the original mint rolls right here, the P&D set, that we saw was available for $54 or $34, $35. I'll just say $35. I guess if I had to go back, they're $36.25, and 150 bucks. So four times the original issue price, I guess, is what these are going for. This one's September 27th, $149.99. This is how they come. They come in these boxes. As you can see, one sold for $140, another one for a best offer. Willing to bet that's probably close to this number here. Here's some right here. But this is a multi-year set, 23, 24, and 25. So these are 3 2-roll sets for $225. So a pretty significant premium above the $60 face value there. Let's see if we can find one more or two more. Let's see, 2025P candy $half mint wrap roll of 20 coins. So this is just the Philadelphia roll for $56. Which is $20 above the original issue price for 2 rolls that include the Philly and Denver coins, respectively. So, there's not a whole lot of sales. And I would suspect, here's one here that sold way back in September 22nd, which is not that long ago, for $75. Here's another set here through regular auction for $119.30 with $14 shipping. So the price was a little bit more muddied and muddled a few weeks ago. Now we're seeing, more of kind of like the regular value of these things. But I can tell you right now, they're all selling quite a bit above and beyond what the issue price is here. So folks are expecting these right here to hold a lot of weight and water for future collectability because of the transition into the new design. People are gonna feel nostalgic about going back to the older design of candy $half, and then they're going to buy into these, and it's keep the prices nice and lofty to a certain degree. These things I don't think are going to blow up to, I guess what you would say, $200, $300, $400 for the two roll sets. It might, but how far out do we have to go out to spec on those kind of numbers? It's going to be a long time. And you saw a quick little glimpse. So there's something weird going on with the Mexico Libertads for 2025, which has been kind of like a staple of sovereign silver each and every single year. Libertads, as a matter of fact, are some of the most widely collected silver rounds going today. What people have not told you, and people have been waiting all year, is if the Mexico Mint is going to produce any more of these. Because right now, the mintages are low. I mean, we're talking just some insane artificial scarcity here. And I mean, I say the word artificial, and it's probably not so artificial, but this is all the doing of the Mexico Mint, where they had pulled the rug underneath everyone's eyes and had done the unthinkable and just made 2025 coinage of every type, from uncirculated to proof to reverse proof, all highly collectible with these ridiculous 3 and 4 digit mintage numbers. So right off the rip here, reverse proof, $6,500, and then there's the black ruthenium overlay. This one right here is limited, but this is more of a collector piece. That's not part of like what we consider to be the regular program of the silvers Here's a 2-ounce proof version right here. 2-ouncer for $700. That seems like a lot, and it is because, again, they throttled back on the mintages for 2025. Okay, I'm going to tell you the numbers here in a moment. 18 bids, 27 bids here on a 1-ounce reverse proof at $900. Here's a crazy one right here. This is a 2025 regular issue uncirculated 1-ounce Libertad. Apparently, they only made 500 of this one. $5,500. And I can't wait to tell you how much a Mid-State 70 of that same very coin is currently going for. APMEX was at one point kind of setting the bar in the market for Mid-State 70 silver Libertads, 2025 1-ouncers. They only made 500. I don't know what the rhyme or reason is why they're doing this. Are they competing with someone? You know, I don't know, like other mints, or what's the the shtick here on this? Here's a 1/4 ounce silver Libertad. This one is what looks to be an uncirculated first day of issue PCGS holdered. 2,900 freaking bucks, man. So, we're seeing some pretty insane numbers. Here's the 1/10 ounce right here by APMEX for $411.30. Here's the 2025 proof Black Swan event. And that's something interesting. People are terming the 2025 Mexico bullion program as Black Swan. And it probably fits to a T, as far as what we're seeing here. $540 there. Here's a perfect proof 70 1-ounce proof. By the way, this is not typical. If we look at last year's prices, totally different. It's not $7,500 like what we're seeing here. But in 2025, it's kind of like anything goes at this point. But this one here, ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of a microcosm of what's happening with the Libertads this year. This is a brand new 2025 regular issue, is what I call it, Black Swan 1-ounce silver Libertad uncirculated. This is like the standard issue bullion coin that if we wanted to go to a coin shop and buy sovereign silver, this would be one of the ones that they would have in tubes and have in quantity. Mid-State 70 through PCGS, first day of issue. This thing has all of the legs for a hyper collectible piece. $19,500. So what we're seeing here is crazy, insane numbers that we haven't seen in any other sovereign minted silver program ever. And that's including the Royal Canadian Mint with their maple leaves, because there's a few of them that are quite scarce, but they're not this scarce. So here is what I was able to pull on Google. Just doing a quick little search. And the AI overview states that the mintage figures for 2025 Mexican silver Libertads are historically low and vary by specific coin type and size. For the brilliant uncirculated series, the 1-ounce size has a low mintage of just 500 coins. 500. The normal mintage of the regular uncirculated Silver Eagle 1-ouncers tends to be between 1 and 2 million. Okay, which is still somewhat light, but it was still able to fulfill demand with a lot of stackers and collectors out there. So it was okay. There are, I would say, some more slightly popular designs like the Silver Eagle, the Maple Leaf, and a few others. Whatever the British one is. But yeah, crazy. The 10th ounce and the 1/20th ounce sizes are limited to 200 coins each. My goodness. And the 5 ounce and 1 kilo sizes are also limited to 200 and 340 respectively. The 2025 1-ounce reverse proof silver Libertad coins also have a low mintage of 1,500. The uncirculated is 500. The special strike reverse proof is 1,500. It's 1,000 higher. I am floored right now. Here's a breakdown of the different fractionals. The kilo has always been a lighter mintage piece because it's bigger and heavier and all that. 340. The reverse proof, there are your numbers there. So, all in all, apparently they are not going to be making any more of these. One of my dealer buddies, you guys know him, Chad from Encore Golden Coin, had originally told me about these, and that he was interested in doing some more research on what's happening here, because he has clients that are collecting these, and they are, quite frankly, kind of pissed off that they're not making a regular standard amount of Libertads. Again, there's something that happened. I don't know, but the 2025 Black Swan year of Libertad production is certainly very sketchy, to say the least. 2024 Libertads, they had regular mintages. The 1 ounce silver Libertads typically ranging from 500,000 to 1.5 million. That's right. That's correct. Because I've had a few from the last kind of like 10 years. I've owned a few of those, dates of Libertads then. All right. So here's Apmex. They are actually sold out of the Mid-State 70 first day of issue Libertads. But they had these at $15,000 up until they sold out. So whatever allocated amount that they did have is no longer available. They are sold out. And they had a very small quantity of them, of the 500 that was produced initially. And the final thing, ladies and gents, that I wanted to take your attention to, because I think this is going to be a good one coming up here in about a week. Yeah, October 10th, by the way, is when this one will go available. This is the 2025 250th anniversary of the U.S. Navy. It's going to have the laser etched privy mark on there. As you can see there, obviously, the U.S. Mint is kind of like behind the curve on innovation and technology. Other world mints, including the Royal Canadian Mint, has always used laser engraving. So we've seen that in various privy marks and different cool technology bits on those particular coins. But the armed services, Silver Eagles, the first one, the Army, went off like gangbusters. It turns out it became a very expensive coin right out of the gate. And the U.S. Navy that's coming out here in about 2 weeks. And then I think the Marine Corps one that's coming out shortly thereafter, they're going to be bangers, So these I would keep an eye on. They have a mintage limit of only 100,000, not nearly enough for a Silver Eagle. There's more Silver Eagle collectors and stackers out there than 100,000. Household order limit of 1 per home. So if you wanted to order more of these, order them, for your office, order them for, your relatives, mom and dad, brother, sister, wife's uncle's best friend's neighbor or something. I don't know. But, this is going to be one to be on the lookout for. This one's going to be hot as much the Army is. The Army is like the biggest one, and then Navy coming out here in 2 weeks. I'm going to try and get 2 of them because my wife was a Navy veteran. So, this will be a nice gift for her. I'll probably end up getting it slabbed. I'm not a big proponent of slabbing moderns, but, I think this thing in a perfect proof 70 holder would look absolutely freaking amazing. So, that's it. Yeah, kind of some odds and ends here today as we kind of get closer to 2026 and the 250th anniversary celebration gala, which is going to be huge. We are going to be talking more of like new kind of like developments and news and sellouts and things of that nature between now and then. We're going to update you on mintages. We're going to talk about prospective designs and, future plans for various coins. And another thing, by the way, that maybe few of you are not aware, but the mint had gained permission through a bill that went into legislature to begin producing fractional silver eagles as of 2026. So we're going to see quarter ounce, half ounce, 1 ounce, probably 10th ounce silver eagles. And I'm willing to bet they're all going to be relatively light on the mintage side. So we are going to see that in 2026. Hell of a way to kind of kick off some weird different programs and, branching out into doing other things that, maybe other mints have done and have gone off with just amazing success. The Silver Eagle program is a gauntlet right now, and with the price of silver being as high as it is at $46 an ounce as of today's video, things are just going to be even more explosive here in the next 12 to 18 months. So come join me for more news in the future. I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you guys again for checking things out. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you on the next coin video. So long.